Hi there, my name is Jennifer Clarke, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how many Zazzle stores or shops should you open or have in your Zazzle account. I am Jennifer Clarke, like I mentioned, and I'm a Zazzle expansion expert, and I teach people how to grow and build Zazzle businesses with using the print on demand platform. And today we're going to be talking about a very, very well-known topic is how many stores should I open or what should be in my stores and what's the maximum amount of stores that I should have. My first answer and most generic answer is focus on one store. There's a lot of information out there on YouTube and also on the online forum for Zazzle speaking about different shops and how many different niches you might have and or if you should have multiple stores, and multiple stores means more possible income. And I'm going to come out right and say that actually having multiple stores is a bit of an issue for some people because of organization and keeping them up and having each one looking proper and also maintaining each store, making sure that you always have new, fresh products in your store and also understanding the analytics of your store. You can have one main shop and have many different niches in there. And by that, I mean is that you can have a store that has an overall aesthetic to it and focus on one niche in the store because that's what we do in our trainings and our coaching in our Profit by Design Academy coaching program. We teach people about finding their perfect niche and really focusing in on that niche in their store. However, if you have other kind of sub niches or things that you want to dabble into, let's say you're focusing on graduation or weddings or occasions, and all of a sudden you want to move into home decor. That doesn't mean that you have to now open up a home decor shop. You can integrate certain home decor products within your sub niches in your store. And also, your store can be defined by your overall style. Each designer and each seller on Zazzle has a different theme or a different design style or a different focus because all of us are individual sellers and individual artists, most likely. If you're not particularly an artist, you still have a design style that you are attracted to. And so the reason why we create Zazzle stores, first of all, is because we do want to make money, and making money gives us the potential and opportunities to do things like change our lifestyle. However, at the end of the day, each of us are designers because we find this as a passion of ours. We're showing up to our Zazzle store, creating new products because we like doing it, right? I'm sure that resonates with you. I really enjoy making wedding invitations. It makes me feel good. I like have it. I enjoy it. It makes me have a lot of fun doing it. And the reason why I keep adding things to my store is because, first of all, I enjoy doing it. And then I also know the business side to things. Okay. And so making sure that you focus on one store is the best option for you because having multiple different stores can be complicated and overwhelming. And also sometimes you lose track on your analytics. And that being said, I can say that as my own proof because when I first started out in Zazzle in 2007, I had multiple different stores based on multiple different niches or even design styles that I thought were popular. And at the end of the day, I had a hard time figuring out how to keep track of all of them, make sure that everyone looked professional as well, because the Zazzle platform has completely changed in terms of the design style of even your homepage of the Zazzle store that you own, making sure that your banner looks good, you have media files, your cover photos are all updated, you have categories that are well organized. So there's a lot of components that go into building an actual business that works within your store. And unfortunately, many Zazzle designers think that they can just open up a store and start posting random products again for sale because it's in a new niche. And then they let things slide on the wayside, like, for example, media files or cover photos or your banner or even your profile, okay, in terms of the description of your store, who you cater to. And so if that is something that you feel like you can hold on to and or manage, then I'm never going to discourage you from not opening up another store because obviously there's more possibilities to make money in different niches. However, you can have one store that is subcategorized into certain areas. And this is why we teach this in our Profit by Design Academy is proper category setup and proper collection setup because you can have one store with multiple different product ranges and niches within that store. As well, that allows you to keep everything organized underneath one account and then also cross promote and cross sell within your store. There are workarounds if you create multiple different stores to promote other products from another store into your main store or cross multiply into other stores, but that's using collections. And unfortunately, sometimes that always doesn't work for you. It is a workaround if all of a sudden you find yourself with a really popular product in one store, but the rest of your products aren't popular, but you want to leverage that popularity and transition that popularity into other sales in your other store. But it's really a lot better to keep it all organized within one store, because then you can really organize your categories and your collections. And this is where we're talking and mainly focusing on cross selling those products that you might even not realize that could sell potentially with a certain product that you're selling right now. Okay. And I can tell you this from my own proof, and then also from my students and my coaching program proof, where I've had testimonials from people saying, thank goodness I've decided to stick with one store like you told me to, because now I can really focus on being organized, especially with my store setup, with my branding, which is very, very important, because although you can have multiple stores, each store has to be branded in a particular way so that the customer can feel comfortable and confident purchasing from you in your store. Because you can have a customer who comes to your store, and if it's not well managed or not up to date, or if you've let it slide for a while, then unfortunately they won't have that interaction of feeling that they're comfortable buying from their store, and they'll move on to another store that seems a little bit more credible. Okay. And so if you are able to keep track of everything that is going on in each and individual store that you own, then I'm not going to discourage you from creating multiple stores. However, I really do recommend that you focus on one store initially to really solidify your brand, to really solidify your product inventory, because then you can focus on your earnings goal. And if you have a certain earnings goal per month, then you know how much inventory you need to have in your store based on conversion rate and also price points, because each person who comes to your store has a different budget in mind. And so if you don't have a particular set of items or products in your store that could potentially get you to your earnings goal, unfortunately, no matter how many stores you have, it doesn't really make sense, because then you're not actually offering products for sale to even potentially reach your earnings goal. Okay. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about, is that you have to have an earnings goal, and you have to have the inventory, and you have to cater for a specific customer. And so really focusing in that on that one store, that makes more sense than having multiple different stores with a wide range of products that maybe or maybe not you're going to keep track of. And that also, coming back full circle to the analytics part, is keeping track of your views and also your orders and how much you're actually being viewed or sold on the Zazzle marketplace. And if you have multiple different stores, that means that you have to take the time and be responsible and hold yourself accountable to go into each individual store and look up all the analytics and make sure that you got keep track of everything and make sure that you're understanding everything, because the only way that you can really do and become a business owner is understanding your numbers. And if you're just throwing products out there into the Zazzle marketplace and not really understanding how to analyze the views and the sales and your earnings, then unfortunately it's just going to be mismatched, and you're going to be feeling very overwhelmed. And or as a Zazzle designer, because we're here for the long haul and we're here to be on the Zazzle platform for a while, because we're creating a passive online business that can work for us for many years in the future. Like I mentioned, I started in 2007, and I'm still selling products to this day in 2024 that I made multiple years in the past. Okay. I had a sale from 2020, a product that was made in 2020 recently, 2 days ago. And I also had a sale from a product that I made in 2011 recently. And so we're here to create a business that can potentially make us money in the future, many years down the road. And if you don't look at your analytics or understand how those products can possibly work for you, unfortunately, you're never going to get anywhere in your business side of things and also see progress, because it's just going to be left alone. All right. And it's very confusing sometimes to go back and forth and look at all your analytics. And this is why we teach people, even in our mastermind or our private one on one coaching, about analytics and understanding when certain things are selling during certain times of year. When did you post that product for sale? Is it selling now? Has it actually slowed down in terms of the earnings? We want to make sure that you understand how things work in your Zazzle store. And having multiple different stores, unfortunately, is hard for you to keep track of everything. All right. And that also reconfirming that you can have a niche and also sub niches or design styles or themes within your one store. And you don't have to open up another store just because there's a trend for bohemian sunflower t-shirts right now. Or for example, there's a trend for wildflower watercolor wedding invitations on Zazzle right now. And if you don't have wildflower wedding invitations in your store, but you want to have them in your store, it doesn't mean that you have to open up a new wedding shop or a wedding store, for example, because unfortunately, then that wedding store or wedding shop, unless you're not dedicated 100% to creating products, keeping up the brand, making sure it looks good, and organizing it properly, then it's just opening up a store for no reason. And unfortunately, you may or may not see progress from that, but it's really important to understand that sticking with one store and really, really honing your skills at the beginning will work wonders for you and actually give you more results than if you spread yourself too thin and create multiple different stores. Okay. If you see a very, very, very sub niche or niche that is completely different than what you're offering in one of your main stores already, then you can definitely open up another store to sell certain things in that niche. However, make sure that you keep yourself accountable and you always go back and update that store. Make sure the brand is popular. And with everything that Zazzle asks us to do now, especially with cover photos and media files, it might feel overwhelming for you to have multiple different stores that you have to take care of. Okay. Might also, there's an issue of where maybe you have a store that's growing for you quite fast, and then you decide to focus on that store more often, and then realize that you've opened up a new store and you have left it alone, and or you're trying to build up both stores simultaneously, and all of a sudden they start to overlap in certain design styles and themes, and also product choices or product uses. And so for you to then be somewhat competing with yourself in the marketplace, it's a little bit awkward because you're completely different stores. However, you're the sole designer. And so you want to make sure that your products aren't actually competing with your own products, because if you have two different stores that sort of kind of meld together at the end of the day, because all at the end of the day your design style comes out, then that's an unfortunate situation as well. And I've had one of my students who is a very high earner on Zazzle have a problem like that, because they have multiple different stores that are both extremely popular, but it's getting hard to manage both of them because each one has like thousands of products in the store and they're starting to overlap. And unfortunately, there's a weird situation there where you have to figure out, which store do I focus on more? And can I actually divide my time equally between these multiple different stores? Okay. So this is just a little bit of like a warning for you, is that if you really do want to open up multiple different stores, then you can definitely go ahead and do that. But just really think about it in a business sense and a time sense as well. We're here to create a passive online business that gives us time, location, and financial freedom potentially. And if we spread ourselves too thin, we might get overwhelmed, might get frustrated, or we might be put in a position where we don't know what to do because we're trying to focus on building one store and we just don't have enough time to focus on the other store. Okay. So really think about that when you're deciding to open up multiple different stores and if it actually makes sense for you as the business owner. Thank you so much for watching this video. Comment below and let me know what you have in terms of stores on Zazzle. If you have multiple stores, if you have one store, if you've been thinking, okay, now I can actually focus on one store after watching this video and saying that I should focus on one store and build up my brand and credibility with my customers and product choices and also product quality, right? Each product has a certain quality because Zazzle manufactures that product. However, each product has a different quality based on the design style that you as the individual designer offers to that product. And so unfortunately, if you spread yourself too thin and you're all over the place and you're not honing in on your design skills, that also comes out in your work as well. And that will also affect your sales. And so we really want you to focus on one store, build it up, make sure that you have all the skill sets necessary for brand, your store setup, then also the content in your store, and also the credibility with your customers, and also your designs. Okay. Because that's a big one. If you're not creating designs that serve or meet a customer's needs, then unfortunately, you're not going to see results. So really think about why you were thinking about opening multiple different stores. Does it make sense to you? And does it make sense to your actual business plan going forward in the future? So comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts because I'm here to listen to everything that you have to say, and then we can have a discussion about it, and maybe we can actually create another YouTube video on why you might actually need multiple different stores. like to hear your thoughts. So make sure you comment, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also in the description of this video, we're offering you a free download. Make sure you snag that because it will definitely help you on your Zazzle journey to success. Okay.